Hi all, welcome to Acharya Coding School. In this class, we can start about the user and group management. First, we can understand about the users and the group files. Before going to that, let us understand about what are the users and the groups. So, the user is a multiple users in Linux we have. So, same as like it's an account for login into the Linux. So for example, we have like a different types of users we have. For example, you are a user to your organization. You need to have a user ID for logging into your Linux system. And we have like a group. So group is nothing but collection of users. So with this, we can able to manage the shared permissions. For example, if we take in your organization, there are like 10 people working on the system admin work. But for each and every individual, you need to assign some permissions for allowing accessing into the Linux system. What you are doing here, instead of allowing each user individually, you are assigning permissions as a group. So you are assigning all the users to form a group, and you are assigning the shared permissions for the group. So we have like a types of users. We have like a root user, system user, and a normal user. So the root user means, so we have discussed about the root directory. So here what the root user will do, he has all the privileges. So he has each and individual permissions. So he is a super user. So with the root user, we can able to manage the permissions and everything you can manage. So root user is nothing but the admin level permissions. And we have like a system users. So which we have created for the services which we are using. So for example, if we take MySQL, Apache, so there are like a different types of system users we have. And we have like a normal users. So for daily day-to-day activities. So for example, if you want to log into your AWS accounts, or else you want to log into the Linux system accounts. So every time, instead of like we can call them as normal users. So let us understand about the files. So we have etc password, which we are using for the showing user details, and we have like a shadow. It's mainly storing for encrypted passwords. So we have like a etc group, so which shows the group information. Can we do it in a practical way to understand it in better way? So if we give cat is for reading purpose. So within the command, so we can giving etc password to see the user information. So if we give this command, then you can observe how many users are exist in our Linux system. If we give cat etc password, but you want to only see 5 commands, you can give head of 5. So then if you observe, then you can able to see the only 5 users. So we are using this pipeline symbol to connect to the 2 Linux commands. And we have another important file, it is shadow command. So which we are mainly stores for the encrypted passwords. So do it in a practical way. So if you observe, so we are getting permission denied. So why we are getting this permission denied? Because so the etc password showing the etc shadow command will showing the encrypted password details. So every user not able to see our passwords. So it should be secure manner. So that's why we are using. Sudo means root user only able to see the passwords. Every user are not able to see our passwords. And we have another important file as etc group. So which mainly we are using for the storing the group information. For example, if we observe etc group, if you observe, so there itself we can know about the group details. So you can filter. See, file, you can give head of file, or else like you can give tail of file. Tail means last file command. So if you observe, here we have how many groups we have. We are able to see by giving this command. And we have the commands for users and group management. So first discuss about the user management. In this we can discuss about how to create a user. So we can create user using the command called sudo user add -m. Whichever user you want, you can create. You can create Kavya. So how can you know that the user is created or not? By giving the command cat /etc password. So the etc password why we are using this command? So it's mainly showing the user details. So if you give this command means you can get several types of users which we have. Among this, you want to know about the Kavya details only, whether Kavya user is created or not. So you can search by filter. We have like a filter purpose. We have a command called grep. Grep is using for the mainly filtering purpose. If you give grep Kavya, so if you see the Kavya user is created. And we have a delete a user. So we have created a new user. But if you want to delete a user, you can give the command sudo user delete -r. So forcefully we are deleting without getting permissions. You are deleted Kavya. So for example, if you see again, if you give this command, if you observe, we are not getting any such results. Why? Because we have deleted the user. And we can modify the user as well as. So then again, we can create new user. So instead of Kavya, you can create Navya. Or else like again, you can, if you want to create Kavya, you can create. So you can modify the user permissions. You can modify the user shell as well as. So if you observe, we are using the shell as bash. From the bash to, we can change the shell to KSH or ZSH or SH based upon our purpose. So then if you give this command sudo user mod. So for modifying the shell. So we are using the command. So we are modifying the shell. That's why we are entering -s /bin/ instead of bash we are changing to sh. Then we need to enter Navya. So the Kavya user we have already deleted. So we have created a Navya user. So we have modifying changes for the Navya. So again, if you want to observe whether Navya user is created or not, and the permissions are changed for the Navya or not. So instead of, you can replace the Navya. So then you can observe here from the bin bash to here it changes from bin to sh. And we can switch user from Navya to root user, and we can switch the user from EC2 user to the Navya. So whatever the user you want, you can switch user. And we have like a group management. So in this group management, we have like how to create a group and how to add a user to group and how to delete a group. We can create sudo group add. So this means you are creating a new group. So you can create a group called champions. So you have created a new group. So how can you know that you have created the group champions or not? By giving the command called sudo etc group. Then you have to filter by using the grep champions. So we are getting command not found. Why? Because we need to troubleshoot if we are getting any type of errors. Means there are spell checks or else like we need to check. Yeah. So here we did not enter about the cat. So using this cat only, we can able to see the contents in these files. So then we need to enter sudo cat /etc groups. So in real time also, if you are getting any such type of issues, you need to work on this issue and you can troubleshoot. It's an easy, normal thing only. So you can see that the champions group is created. So if you want to add a user to the group, so for example, if you have created the user called Navya, you want to add this user to the champions group, then you can add by using command called sudo user mod -a and -g we need to provide, and we need to enter the from which user you want to add. So we have created a champions group. We are adding from for the champions group, we are adding the Navya. So we have added Navya to the champions group. So then if you want to check again, you can check. Sudo, if you want to delete a group, so you can give the command by sudo group delete champions. So we observe the champions is group deleted. You can check whether it is deleted or not. So you are not getting any results. That means your which you have deleted, the group is deleted. And we have like a ownership and permissions. So for every file, the ownership belongs to 3 users. So it's a user, or else like it's a group, it's a other permissions. So based upon that, we are assigning. So every file has the user permissions, group permissions, and other permissions as well as. So the permissions which we are using for the control, like reading, writing, and executing. So in the last class which we have discussed about the permissions. So read, write, access, and execute permissions. So depends upon the we are assigning the access. So if you observe here, the owner is the Navya and then the group is the champions which we have created, and we are assigning the permissions. So if you want to check the permissions for the Navya, so you can check the permissions for the Navya as well as. So by giving ls-la Navya. So it's a not you can give ls minus -la. It's notified. So you can able to see the permissions. So we have already deleted. So that's why. And we can able to see the read write permissions and execute permissions. We can able to observe everything. Here who is the owner and who is the group and what are permissions we have. So we can able to get to know. So let us connect to our EC2 instance. So we have connected the EC2 machine. So there itself we can discuss about the important files which we are doing. There itself if you observe cat etc password. So the command which we are using for the storing the user details. Let me explain you by practical. So for example, here cat so it has a lot of data. Among this, you want to see only top 5 files. So you can give so we are using pipe symbol. Why we are using the pipe symbol? To connect two commands. So we are using the along with cat we are using the head command as well. So if you observe the top 5 users are we are able to see. So we can able to see the username. Whether it is a root user, whether it is a normal user, whether it is a admin user. So we can see the user details as well as. So and we can see the user ID as well as and the shell and the path. We are able to see everything. And we have like a shadow command as well as. So we give cat shadow. So it's a permission denied. So why the permission denied error we are getting? Because only the root user will able to see this command. So what's the root user? Means sudo. Then again we need to enter the file. So if you observe, by able to giving the root user, we able to see the command details. So it's mainly for encryption passwords. So every normal user will not able to know about the passwords, right? Only the root user will able to see the passwords. So it's an encrypted way. If we what happens if we observe like all the users will able to see our passwords, then our user details will be get hacked and our application details will be getting hacked. So that's why we are using this encryption. And we have like a etc group, so which is mainly storing for the group information. So the group user details are stored in this, but the group information will be stored in the group command. So let us do it in practical. So if you observe, in this we are able to see the group details as well as the root, the SB, daemon. So we are able to see the group details. Till now we have discussed about what are the groups and users. So we can discuss about the commands for users and the group management. First, we can discuss about the user management. So there itself we can create a new users, we can delete a user, we can modify a user, and we can switch a user. So we can discuss each and everything in detail. For creating a new user, we have a command called sudo user add -m. We can create any user. So for example, you can create like a Linux user. Which name you will be preferable, you can enter your name as well as. Which name you want, you can give. So you have created a new user. And you can set a password as well as for the users. And if you want to delete a user, you can giving the command user delete -r. You can give Linux user. So this user does not exist, it's showing. Why? Because we haven't created user correctly. So we need to create in a correct manner. So we need to, while creating the user details, we need to provide the passwords as well as while creating the users. So let us do it in a practical way. How we are creating the user and how we are deleting the user. Let us observe each and everything. How can we create it? Sudo user add we can give any name. If you want to create any name, you can give. So let us create Linux user. So we have created the user, but after adding, we need to check that user is created or not. So how can we check? We can check by using cat is etc password. So I already mentioned. How can we check in the users? By giving the etc password. So then we are able to see that whether the user is created or not. So how can you filter the user which we have created? We have created the Linux user, but we want to filter it from this passwords command, and we need to see the Linux user is created or not by using the grep. So the grep we are using for the filtering purpose. So if you observe, the user is created. So if you want to delete a new user which you have created, then user delete -r Linux user. So if you observe now, the user is deleted now. And we have till now we have know about the how to add a new user and how to delete a new user, and we can get to know about how to modify the user and how to switch to the users. So let us discuss in this way as well. So we have created a user. So from those, like we want to modify the user, so which we have created. So how to modify the user which we have created. So for example, if you want to change like created like a Linux server, But for example, if we observe like from bin bash to, if you want to change the shell from to ZSH, so from bash to sh, if you want to change. So then also using this Linux commands, we can able to modify the user details as well as. So can we do this practical way? Yes, hyphen bin sh Linux user. So the user mode does not exist. So it's saying, let us try once again. So in practical scenarios also, we are troubleshooting itself only. There is no need of knowing everything. Everyone don't know everything, but they are also doing practically, and if they are getting any mistakes, we also learning by using these mistakes. The user, yeah, why we are not able to modify the Linux user? Because we already deleted the Linux user. So that's why we are not able to modify the Linux user. So then again, what we know, we can create a new user. User add -m, create John. Like if you want to create any name based upon, you can give Kachani or Sirisha, or else like whatever the name you want to create a new user, you can create, or the software engineer, any way, any random name or any name you can give. So now the user is created. So if you observe, like the user is created or not, okay, we cat etc password great John. So if you observe, the John user is created. So if you want to modify the new changes, user mod -s /bin /sh, you need to provide the user. So if you observe, from the bash to it modified to the sh. Now if you want to observe once again, you can observe. So if you observe, from the bash to bin/bash to, it changes from bin to sh. So you can add a group as well as. So we can, if you created a new user, if you want to add it to the new user, means the new user is added to the, if you want to, if you created like a something, a John user, if you want to add this user to the group, you can add. And by using the command called sudo usermod, this is the most useful command we are when we are doing while assigning some permissions as well as. So we are using this mainly this command when you want to work. So let us observe whether it is created or not. So we need to check like which roots we have. So here the root is the group here. So then we can check like whether it is created or not. So by keeping cat, so we have discussed about how to modify the users and grep join. So if you observe, in the group itself, the user join is created. So it's mainly like it is a group stores the group information. We can filter by using this, and we can switch the user from John to root user. So we can switch any user if you want. You can switch. So if you want to switch your user to John. So then again you need to enter the password. But here your password has been non-set. So you can enter. But in real practical work, you are able to set the password, and using the password only we are able to authenticate using the user. So from the root EC2 user or root user, we can switch the user which we have created, and we can do the whatever you want, you can execute. And we have like a group management. So where we are using how to create a group and add user to group, how to delete a group. So we can create, first of all, how to create a group. Sudo group add